Dear students, dear students, now we are going to see the topic called as energy meter. Energy meter, the block diagram is shown here. So the schematic diagram of a this is called as a single phase induction type energy meter. The schematic diagram of a single phase energy meter is shown here. The essential components of this single phase induction type energy meter are: the first one is driving system, second one is moving system, third one is braking system, fourth one is registering or counting system. So in this diagram, here you are seeing a two type of windings in the center. So that winding is nothing but the two fluxes produced in the center part actually. Okay, so here you are seeing an E-shaped coil. Okay, that is nothing but the shunt magnet, and C-shaped system called as the magnetic brake, and in downside you are having a current coil. Okay, and the black color, and in center part of that it is nothing but the rotating aluminum disc, and in the bottommost one it is a pivot that is supporting one, and the input supply you are giving a single phase AC supply. On the right side you are showing us a load, that means domestic load. So this is the different parts available in the energy meter. Now we are going to see one by one essential components of this energy meter. As I said, there are four components of, not type, components. Four components of single phase induction type energy meter. The first one is driving system. Again, I repeat, the first one is driving system. Second one is moving system. Third one is braking system. Fourth one is registering or counting system. Now we will see the driving system. So the driving system of the energy meter consists of two electromagnets called as shunt and series magnets. Silicon steel laminations are used for constructing these magnets. Okay, so in the previous diagram we have seen no shunt magnet. Okay, there are that is the it's nothing but the it is a driving system actually. So these laminations are arranged in such a way to form a strong mechanical structure which helps in distribution of magnetic flux. So I told you E shape, right? Okay, it is E shape. It is nothing but a M shape actually. Okay, the side pose of the E shape is nothing but the M shape actually. So the M shaped steel laminations are used to form the shunt magnet. Okay, which we have seen in the last block diagram. Okay, where the highly inductive coil with large number of turns of smaller cross sectional area is wounded on the center limb of the shunt magnet. Okay, shunt magnet that is in the center of this thing, one winding is there in that block diagram, no? So that winding is nothing but the highly inductive coil winding. So this pressure or voltage coil is connected across the AC supply. Okay, if you see the block diagram, you can understand better. Okay, so that winding is connected to the AC supply. When the coil is energized by the AC supply, a magnetic field is produced and it lags the supply voltage by 90 degrees. That is the main important point in this driving system. Again, I repeat, when the coil is energized by the AC supply, a magnetic field is produced and it lags the supply voltage by 90 degrees. Okay. Now, the important point in this driving system is copper bands is present. So copper bands are provided on the shunt magnet actually. So to produce a phase difference of 90 degrees between the magnetic field set by the shunt magnet and the supply voltage. So it is an important point. Copper bands are provided on the shunt magnet. This copper band is also called power factor compensator or compensating loop. So that is the first component of the induction type energy meter. Second component we are going to see is the moving system. Moving system of energy meter consists of an aluminum disc that is in the presented in the center. The okay, so aluminum disc mounted on an alloy shaft and is suspended freely in the air gap between the shunt and the series electromagnets, such that there is an interaction between the flux produced by these electromagnets and disc. The upper bearing of the moving system is a steel pin fixed to the bearing cap located at the top side of the shaft. The aluminum disc rotates on a steel pivot supported by the bearing and screwed at the bottom of the shaft. Due to the variation in the magnetic field, an eddy current gets induced in the disc. This eddy current, when interacts with the magnetic field, a deflecting torque is produced in the disc. So that is an important point. That is, I repeat, due to variation in the magnetic field, an eddy current gets induced in the field. That is induced in the disc. Sorry. This eddy current, when interacts with the magnetic field, a deflecting torque produced in the disc. So that is about your second component, moving system. Yeah, now third one is braking system. A permanent C-shaped magnet, right? In the above the bottom structure, you have some a cup-shaped structure is there, no? So there is nothing but the braking system only. Okay, so this magnet is made up of steel alloy. It is provided with a small air gap between the poles through which the disc rotates. Okay, in between the C-shaped only the disc arrangement is present. Okay, so braking magnets helps in applying the braking or controlling torque on the aluminum disc to reduce its rotation. So this braking system is very much important. Okay, so in order to control or in order to reduce its rotation. Okay, that is aluminum disc rotation. When eddy current induced in the disc disturbs the magnetic field of the brake magnet, a braking torque produced which opposes the disc movement and hence the disc speed reduces. That means if any disturbance occur, okay, so this braking magnet helps to reduce the speed of that movement of the disc. The braking torque applied on the disc can be varied by moving the braking magnet to any other position. Okay, if the braking torque applied is somewhere in somewhere the position changes means, so definitely the disc or the speed of the disc is vary. So the braking mechanism is the arrangement is such a way that it should be in a correct position. Otherwise, what will happen is the speed of the disc varies. Okay, so thereby you may get some um, you may get some variation in your bill. So that is why this arrangement is very important. That means the braking system arrangement, okay, and the driving system arrangement is very important. The last one is registering or counting system. The number of rotations made by the aluminum disc is recorded, right? Okay, so that is registering or counting system. This system consists of a gear arrangement. Definitely it is having some gear arrangement driven by the point fixed on the shaft. and helps in moving the pointer on the disk, indicating the number of rotations made by the disk. Okay, so there are two different types of registering systems. One is the pointer type and second one is the cyclometer type. So these are the four different components of energy meter. I repeat once again, the first one is driving system, second one is moving system, third one is braking system, and the last one is counting system. Now we'll see the working principle. Okay, so what is the working? How the energy meter works? It's very simple, very simple. That is, the pressure coil carries a current and it is proportional to the supply voltage. Okay, as we seen in that block diagram, pressure coil is connected to the supply voltage, right? Okay, so it is proportional to the supply voltage, and the series coil and the series coil carries the load current. The flux produced by the series magnet, say the notation is phi SC, series magnet notation is phi SC, is in phase with the load current I, and the current and the flux produced by the shunt magnet is phi SH, lags the supply voltage by 90 degrees. So these two fluxes, that means flux produced by the series magnet and flux produced by the shunt magnet, okay. So both these fluxes induced EMFs and hence produce eddy currents. And that eddy currents are produced in phase with their respective induced EMFs. So a driving force, okay. So these fluxes induced EMFs in the disk and hence eddy currents are produced in phase with their respective induced EMFs. And hence a driving force is produced due to the interaction of these eddy currents and the fluxes helps in rotating the disk. That means, so two fluxes interact each other and it produces the and it helps in the rotating the disk. The controlling torque is developed by the brake magnet. The desired speed per unit power consumption can be obtained. When the load connected to the meter consumes power due to the interaction between eddy currents, the magnetic fluxes, the aluminum disc starts rotating. It is a simple concept. That means when the load connected to the meter consumes power due to the interaction between the two fluxes, eddy currents, the magnetic fluxes, the aluminum disc starts rotating. That's it. So after some number of rotations, the pointer fixed to the disc displays the total power consumed by the load. So very simple working principle. So two fluxes interacts, thereby eddy currents is produced, thereby the disc rotates. That's it. So this is the simple working of an energy meter. Now we'll see the advantages. So very simple advantages. That means here high accuracy for a wide range of loads, absence of moving ion in the instrument. It is having no electrical contact exists between the moving element. Okay. So these are some of the five important points in the advantages of the induction type energy meter. Next one is the disadvantages. That means it is used only for AC measurements. Not it is not used for DC. Only AC measurement. Comparatively, it is high cost. Cost is high, and power consumption is also high. That is, when proper compensation is not provided, definitely error will occur due to some temperature or due to waveform or due to frequency. So these are some of the important 5 points. 5 points in disadvantages. And if you see errors in induction type energy meter is phase angle error definitely will occur, speed error, friction error, creeping error, temperature error, and frequency error. So we have discussed about the energy meter and its different four different type of components and its advantages and disadvantages and errors also we have seen.